Ontario is a whole different front when it comes to agriculture, with the diversity of crops that we see grown here, of course, lend itself a lot more to the bioproducts that Murray is now focusing his talents on. The result that we're looking for here is to add value to waste that's now happening across the country throughout our agricultural sector. The byproducts, the corn stovers and so on like that stay on the ground. They do provide a fertilizer, if you will, back into that ground, but there's certainly the ability to take, in terms of half of it and drive a value-added product, which is found money for a farmer, helps the farm gate, and of course the jobs and situations that we see like this at companies like this that are springing up to take advantage of those opportunities and become global entities. As John said, they're now shipping to 15 different countries around the world. They're looking at new agreements with countries like China and India, where these developmental products are not known at all. So it's Canadian technology that's going global, and we're happy to put money into that to form the seed stock for these folks to move forward in these great constructive ways. Of course, what we want to see happen over the next years of this program is to draw other companies in. You've got some great anchors like we're in here today, and you start to see other smaller groups spring up to take advantage of that umbrella. That's what this is. This is umbrella funding. The $7 million goes to a whole group of companies that have come together to put this together. There's strength in numbers, there's strength in those opportunities, and that'll draw other people into this marketplace. As Murray pointed out in his statements, they started out funding some 12 companies, 300 jobs created that, plus all of the other jobs that are drawn in to that, and it just starts to ripple out. So as I said, this is very important umbrella type funding that will lead others into this exciting new development in agriculture. There are a number of initiatives like this being taken up, almost commodity by commodity. This one goes beyond commodity specific and actually looks at a range of results driven products, and then which commodity is best to suit that. In a lot of the work that's being done here, of course, it's corn stover, but there's also the ability to add into other crops. Some of this money will develop new varieties of wheats and triticales and so on that are also important biomass products.
Oh yeah, definitely an important day anytime you have new funding, and this is giving us the opportunity to have some long-term funding on the agricultural research side, taking new technologies in bioindustrial agriculture, moving them forward to commercial opportunities. It's early stage research, taking it at the bench level and gradually working it out to the opportunity that would be commercial. So the next 3 to 4 years, we'll see that research move that technology forward. At the end of that time, hopefully then we have the ability to create new business opportunities out there and create some new startup companies in Canada with that in mind. So that's sort of where we're thinking right now, is that it's a step forward to move this, and also makes BIC more nationally focused, because these will be projects spread right across the country. I think if we look at 15 will still just more, it'll be research. I mean, the next 3 years will be pretty well just the research and developing these technologies. At that stage, I'm hoping we'll be at a position to start looking at creating business plans, taking these out off the bench and really creating a new company around them. So that's but that would probably be over the next, probably 3 years from now. The initial phase, the funding that we've got here is strictly to support that research and development out to the end of the bench. Well, BIC will be a busy operation. There's no question. We obviously, this funding gives us, some ability to help source new technologies, and so James and I will work very closely together to help manage that with all of the other players. EcoSynthetics, who's here, being one of those recipients in some of the research, but there's a number of groups across the country, including Agriculture Canada researchers in Alberta and other parts of Canada that will receive funding to support some of this research.
Yeah, our association with Bioindustrial Innovation Canada started a couple of years ago, and they were instrumental really in us revisiting our location. We were at the time a small research company based in Lansing, Michigan, and we were looking for a home to start growing. We were in an incubator, for lack of better words. So through them, we were able to attract funding from the federal government and the Ontario government, and to move our facilities to Burlington, Canada. Today's announcement from the Ministry of Agriculture and Agri-Food is a real important one. It's support from that ministry for industrial materials is key to really move forward to the industry. So we use agricultural feedstocks, And so we add value to the products that farmers produce. And so if we want to stimulate the agricultural sector across Canada, quite frankly, it is about a lot more than just dairy and meat and growing products and crops. It's where these products get used. So we use these kind of crops, so corn, wheat, in particular the starch from that, as well as proteins, to turn them into value-added materials. And so today's announcement really is a great step forward in securing that link between agriculture and industrial biomaterials.
Well, as chairman of the Bioindustrial Innovation Canada, we've been working at trying to support the bioeconomy and make it work in Canada for 7 years now. And it's really a very exciting day today where we're getting funded by the Growing Forward 2 program and the federal government to support us as we try and move the bioeconomy forward. So this is a very exciting day for BIC with $7 million of funding, which will help us to move forward and to be a strong and impactful organization in Canada, fulfilling our mandate of creating jobs and economic value sustainably in Canada. For BIC, this is a first major step away from being a CSIR. This validates us and gives us funding to move forward and support our initiatives, our cluster development initiatives that we're working on, as well as supporting startups. We see this as the first step of becoming a sustainable organization, moving into the future with the backing of government here in this case.
This is a great day for agriculture. It's steps forward on new markets, new opportunities. And it's opportunities that start in the laboratory but go right straight through to the consumer place. And going through the consumer place means that I don't talk about food versus fuel. I don't talk about fibers. I talk about it all. Because some of the stuff that I have as residues or new dedicated crops, some of that can be converted into food. There is no such thing as non-food versus food. It's opportunity. And having this money today means that we're able to start to talk to new groups, new organizations, new companies, and assist them to build new jobs and sustainability here in Canada, and to bring the farm gate even closer to more opportunity. When I wake up in the morning, I have to understand that most of my competition around the globe has already been up for a while already, and they've already been in the field too doing things. I exist in a global marketplace. My pricing comes out of the Chicago Board of Trade. I'm currently doing some demonstration work with colleagues at the Outdoor Farm Show. We have North American companies coming here to take a look at us. I can't move my farm, but I can entice others to come here and be part of the picture and be part of my needs and my future feedstock that I can offer. That is paramount to me. I can't move the farm, but I can bring others to me. Having this kind of money available, that means that farmers are going to benefit no matter where they are.
Gord here in Burlington, Ontario. I've been a director of Bioinnovation Canada since its inception. Great day today. An announcement of further funding from Agriculture Agri-Food Canada from Minister Ritz, and first thing we should always do is thank the government for their support. But we're working on, right here, EcoSynthetics is one of the companies that BIC has invested in. And this is board, what we call MDF board. 40% of that by weight is resin that is now coming from cornstarch. And that market globally is like 130 billion pounds of product. They can replace that now. And the whole idea is the opportunities that creates for marketplace for our producers and indeed agriculture around the world. This is a science and technology arm here, and congratulations to EcoSynthetics for all the great work they're doing in science. But it's taking agricultural product and providing solutions for society. This eliminates isocyanate and formaldehyde, which is the normal glue, and now we're using cornstarch. Good for everybody.
The bioeconomy in Ontario today is thriving, and events like this are exciting events that we can see small Ontario companies or small to medium-sized Ontario companies thriving with with technology that's good for agriculture, that's good for global production of new materials, biomaterials. It's really exciting to have events like this go on. I think the role of governments and organizations like OAFT, they synergize in making sure that companies have access to funding, access to new markets, and they can expand their operations more quickly so we can commercialize our products more quickly. And the role of OAFT is really about networking, connecting different players in these economies so that we can make sure that the right sales channels, the right technology combinations come together and help our agricultural industries thrive. The question about what's happening in Ontario agriculture and how it differs from the past is really the past has been about food and feed, about increasing productivity and reducing the amount of inputs that you have for your food and feed. But now it's about using the pieces of agricultural biomass or the waste in more creative ways to create chemicals and drugs and plastics and things that are more sustainable, environmentally friendly. So agriculture is changing. It's reaching into new markets, more markets than ever before. The Canadian economy is a global economy. Every economy is a global economy, really. So we're taking our advantages, which is technology, highly educated people, a very sophisticated agricultural system, and we're making an impact where Canada can make an impact.
So at Bioindustrial Innovation Canada, we're working with different technology companies across Canada to develop projects in the agriculture sector so we can help them make money and become profitable in the future. What we're trying to do in this particular project is bring the combined thought and experience of researchers across Canada to create a synergy and projects to develop new products so they can be commercially viable.